Welcome to Dungeon Clawler. It's another roguelike game. I briefly talked about it in that Balatro video. I wanted to check it out. I know for a fact I'm not going to get to an end of a run, and I hope you guys enjoy. This game takes the gacha mechanics that we see in many games, but really makes it feasible by showing you the claw machine that you're pulling from. I've done one run, and as you can see, I've unlocked quite a few of the characters. I haven't played as any of them. They all have their own buffs and debuffs, but I'm thinking that I'll come back at some point and try someone else. I just wanted a natural run with Sir Bunalot. This is a difficulty slider that doesn't move. I'm assuming it'll unlock when I get through. So this is the game. It's very classic towards that original Zelda. You move forward and then here's your claw, here's your combat. This is all the game is. You pick up and you dump. And you just hope that something good can come from it. You can prioritize picking up your weapons or picking up the shields first, but it's overall pretty simple in the mechanics of what you're doing. It's the items and how they transition you later on in the run that really make up the build, I guess you can call it. Because deck inflation here, as you can see, I started with 10 shields, 10 daggers, 1 bigger shield, and a short sword. That's all I got. Upgrading, grabbing new items like this gold dagger, a cactus, a marble. It can be interesting on how you adjust your run based on the items that you have in your deck. Let's get through these first few combats and just go over what these roguelites really give to the gaming community. I pulled a lot of this information just online and just seeing like Reddit posts and just like what people are really enjoying without like having a player versus player aspect. And a huge thing about them is just it's just like strategy mixed with random. I don't know how much more random you can get from a claw machine, so I think this one's got it down pat. It's very hands-off, like I'm playing it with one hand. My mouse is sitting here, as you can tell. But the procedural generation that this game offers to us is quite nice because this cartoony style with having a very basic background means it can reset and refit its own pretty often. Having the choices between those other characters is just nice. It leads us to permeate that idea that like our choices mean something even though random is the key factor of these games. Here I got the heat gun, the metal shield, the harpoon. I think I'm going to go for the heat gun. The harpoon is nice because it's another claw I get per turn, but it's big, so I have to pick it up with my original claw first. Here's your little bonus and buffs. It's another gacha game. So, as we see it roll around and as it like dumps out items on the bottom, I only get 2 and I only get to pick one of those 2. Out of these 2, I don't want to take damage and have a build that's based around water, though, is also very difficult because I have to get water inside the tank. Heavy items sink, light items float. These are upgrades based on the drops that you get. These upgrades can include your luck, frost, cushion, shielding, all of those things. And what they can do is as those items drop per enemy per battle, you can decide on which ones you want to appear more commonly. So going over these, and I've read quite a few of them myself already, if you want to see these and really get into depth of it, I suggest just looking it up and or playing the game yourself. It's been so far interesting. I've done 3 runs now, including this one. I may not have the most knowledge on them, but I've been enjoying these like pre-battle strategies that a lot of players get the input of what we're doing, collecting money from grandma here. The health bottles always help to top you off before a boss fight, but let's get into the first boss fight. My only gripe that I have with this game so far is these fights can take a while, especially early on, or if you don't get items that do bleed, or you have a good defense and things like that. Like, as all auto battlers, all of these deck building games, if you don't get something right, things can drag, or you just can't move on correctly, or you'll die early on in the runs. The replayability of this game is high, however, I think that initial pull in of, oh, I'm getting stuff, it's affecting me immediately, just doesn't happen. Especially because this one comes with the additive benefit for some people that some turns you may not get anything. It may just fall out of your clock entirely, and once you do that, you just don't get that item to use and your clock again is empty, so you waste a turn. That randomness is a blessing and a curse. Sometimes you get nothing and it's like, oh, it's alright, but if this person was going to damage me for 17, then how would I manage to defend if my claw keeps dropping things? It's a strategy-based claw game, so there's a lot of factors that have been played in. Like I've said before, I think this game has its pros and cons. One of the cons I've noticed is that these runs last a lot longer if you get further into the game than the other auto battlers. Velatro, you go to Annie 8, and in Village and Dungeons, you have 1 dungeon per run, so you can stop after each dungeon. Of course, I can save and come back to this game, but in a single sitting, this is a lot to digest. I don't know if I'm moving slow, I don't know if I can speed up combat yet. Might be able to have too deeply into those settings. However, being on floor 2 this far in does seem slow. I can sit here and strategize. I can try to process what's going to happen, but if I don't pick up items, I get closer to death, the run ending. If I do pick up items, I get closer to beating the run, but it's so slow in these beginning rounds, beginning floors, that it kind of drags on. I'm not sure what items just lead me to those OP buff, and I know people have found those items or those combination of items, but I doubt that's the average run. So from here, let's pick up. I have a pin cushion, however, I think I'm going to go with Blockmaster. Having that shield rollover for the next round is very nice. It definitely can help later on when I'm trying to collect a lot of shield from those bosses that are going to hit me for 16, 17 damage per hit. But from here, let's just play the game and relax. One downside I see is I can't vibe as hard as I can when I'm playing this compared to Village and Dungeons. Village and Dungeons is very pristine, easy, however, it may not be as flashy. It makes up for in the music that the game gives us. And I think with a lot of these auto battlers, especially with people who don't have the time to sit down, play a cohesive game for 5-6 hours at a time, music's a huge part of it, because that 1 hour you want to be enjoying all of that noise that comes into this game. This retro-y, hard stomp, synthy music is harder to just like relax to. As you can see, like with this fluff and how this music hits, it's interesting, but it's not soothing. It's not enticing either. It's the mix of we're in an arcade or an elevator. It may be personal preference, it may be just how I expect voice to be. I think it just needs a little bit more something. All right, battle 1, and let's try to find something that we can use. Mini fridge looks good, but I don't have anything that has what I want, I guess. So the plastic shield's alright because it resets after each battle. So as it said, like it goes down each time you use it. It does reset after each battle, and that's very helpful. And let's upgrade Blockmaster, save 50% of our shield, and see if we can keep pushing through these floors. The appeal of roguelikes is that replayability, and now that I've replayed this game quite a few times, I've noticed that as enjoyable as this is because of the slow pace that I've seen so far, it may not be one of those immediate quick adds into my rotation of roguelikes. I have Balatro, I have things like that, and they play a lot faster. They have a lot more interest to me that you can kick back, turn on music, and just enjoy. This one is still on that like border of will I come back often or will I not? But enough after this game. Let's just sit back, relax, and enjoy what it has to offer. See if we can learn something new together. I know many of you may yell at me like, you didn't synergize with this, or you didn't do something like that. It's alright. I'm learning probably at the same speed that you guys are, and I'm no intellectual. Enough about this game. I've also read that was recently interesting, like other games that are coming out later on this year, or just like how those big AAAs are going, and seeing just like how Battlefield is and game culture in general. Those AAA games giving features and other items that people just don't really want, especially with the older players. And it hurts to see the change happen. I grew up in the like COD 3 to 4 time frame. I'm not the oldest generation of gamer that there is, but I'm on the older side a lot of the times. And growing up, it was like wait at GameStop till midnight, wait for that COD 4 release. I was there with like my older brother because at the time no one else would be able to do it. He was just old enough that we could get away with getting the game, begging her dad to take us out, plugging it into the original Xbox 360 and having fun that way. It's not the oldest generation. I wasn't growing up with the OG NESs and stuff like that, but I grew up with having the PS2 from hand-me-downs, and I remember when we first got our Wii, that was like the coolest Christmas known to man because it came out right before Christmas and every kid had that on their list. I enjoyed that time. So now sitting down, getting these 45 minutes to an hour to really enjoy a game, I've kind of gotten sick of a lot of the AAA games. I'm not a hardcore, let's play COD, let's get the boys on, let's yell at the 10-year-olds on the mic, because it doesn't matter to me anymore. If I'm going to sit down and play a game, I'm going to sit down to enjoy it. But we're on floor 5, here's the boss. I know he's a pretty hard one, I played him a few times. He has a ton of armor and a ton of damage. And let's just try to get through him. I'll probably cut at some point, just because this fight takes forever. And I'll pick up when I'm getting towards the end of that fight. But back to what I was talking to with those OG midnight releases, it was something that was special about the game to get the cool special edition GameStop in-person release versions only with like the extra booklets and art and posters. People have told me, the guys that I still talk to, like when we were younger that still play COD, they're like, kids are talking about going back to Black Ops 3. I remember when Black Ops was a thing and World at War was like the hardcore game. People would play 4, people played World at War, and we kept it going until we got Black Ops. I miss those days. I miss how easy it was for us to really enjoy the little things that we had in those games. We didn't have all these extra movement. No one was a pro. No one had good mic setups. We were all sitting there with like that shitty mic that plugged into your controller. You had that one friend that begged their parents to get you Turtle Beaches for their birthdays or something. And in doing so, it created a different type of dynamic. And I think a lot of people that started back in the day with that, or even created careers off of it back in the day, see it. I believe that these roguelites are kind of that bridge of the classic style that we grew up with, playing Zelda, Ocarina, and stuff like that, to modern day games. You see it a lot with the Dark Souls and Elden Rings. Even Hollow Knight plays a factor in this now because it's a soul-like 2D scroller that reminds a lot of people of like Samus or Mega Man. And I just miss it. But with this being said, like me missing these things, we all have to find something new, and that's what I'm trying to do, and I hope you guys use these to help find those things that you enjoy as well. So I'll pick up in a little bit. I'll show you me beating this boss if it does happen, or me dying, and we'll move on from there. Alright, I got my low health. Final rounds. Let's get this over with. He took a while. I'm not gonna lie. Bringing you guys in at the very end definitely saves a lot of time. But again, with that idea that some of these games, just their pickups very slow. This is one of them. I think this is one of the biggest downfalls of a lot of these roguelikes that are coming out, is how slow this game feels. If there's something that felt it faster, I think a lot of the times it will move in your head even faster, even if it's not. Jackpot, let's go, baby. While I was going through that fight, I was also noticing just how there's the slowness, but the pattern of the music, it played through a few times and I was catching on to it. It's not bad at all. I'll give it to them. Like, it's something that can be replayed very easily often. Nice. Got all 3. Let's see what I get. Okay, it's pretty good. But I still believe that music is a huge part of these roguelites. I know that a lot of them are pushed to be like the hardcore gamer strategy, let's get good type mentality, but it's just, I feel like it's geared for that, but a lot more people that aren't hardcore gamers are playing these games more often than not because we're the ones that just have the time for that 1 hour to 2 hour gameplay of just replayability. I wouldn't say I'm a hardcore gamer. I have to work, I have to do all these things, I got family life, things like that. So getting that time to enjoy these runs is a huge factor in this. Soon I'll be playing a little bit more of those colony sims, Sim City type, what's it called? Rim World, Norland, maybe even some Foundation just for some good vibes, and I'll put music in the background and just enjoy what's going on. I'm stepping out of my comfort zone because I used to just get on, play a game of Counter-Strike because I've been playing that since the olden days. That half the people that play Counter-Strike now are for skins and gambling and all that, and I'm in it because it's just that classic game that me and my buds used to play when we were going through high school. I'm trying. Really am trying. Push those bounds of what I expect games are. Don't have to always play with friends because admittedly, life gets in the way. Growing up has put into perspective like how much time that you had to sit down, play games, have that Minecraft world on Xbox 360 with all your boys and you'd start it up. But at the end of the day, it's just life. I enjoy the difficulty of these games. I enjoy the difficulty of a lot of games and the learning curves and things like that. Sometimes I think it can be overdone or drawn out just to make the gameplay last longer. I don't think that always should be the standard that these indie developers are creating. I know that not all indie developers or all developers in general are going for that. But pushing the boundaries of what a game can be should always be in the forefront of these new games. I think there's an impasse in people who game right now. From the young generation that have all of the time in the world but no funds, and the older generation that has no time and all the funds that they need, that are at a crossroads, because that line is blurring more and more each year. Getting the best things, getting the coolest items, or new game, new computers, new stuff like that, I think it all needs to slow down. Kids need to enjoy those games, those moments that they have with their friends, and I think as adults, we need to find time to enjoy them. I told you how I grew up and what my golden age of gaming was, but I think it's not a uncommon occurrence for everyone to have an experience like that in their life, that golden age is. I was introduced to gaming back when WoW Classic was just WoW. And I played it on a shitty computer my uncle built for me because he was the video game guy of our family. He's the one that gave me the PS2. He's the one that got us into like these XYZ games. And before that, it was like addicting games and Newgrounds mixed with like Club Penguin. That was gaming to me at the time. getting the PS2, getting to play San Andreas on the PS2, or the original Mortal Kombat's off of those machines was just different. That difference, I think, shaped in what I enjoy. Granted, I had to have a save card and things like that in certain devices as I got older and picked up more retro gaming because that's what my parents would allow, and I think it shaped what I enjoy even more so because I have that taste for the classics, but I also want innovation. And I think innovation is the key to keep this industry alive, but the way that things have been progressing, that innovation is just becoming more and more like Gacha-y. And yes, Gacha sells. Yes, it makes money for the companies, but sometimes I just want a game where I can pay the money and play it. That's why I think the push towards roguelikes and all of these city builders or colony sim games has exploded so much because those expansions that you pay for are just what you get. You don't have to gacha to get more characters. You don't have to gacha to keep going. Let's pick boss on the right. I'm not sure how this fight's going to go out. I feel really weak, so I know I might not make it farther than this. I really hope you've enjoyed so far. If we do make it past, let's get something that can help us in the long run. I think we have enough of those fluff tokens we've gotten to so far. So I want to go for Frost. That sounds nice. Grandma, give us health. I recently learned what the term onk means. I feel very disconnected when it comes to terms that are being used because I don't really pay attention to many of them, and I still say like sick, dope, and shit like that. And it kind of surprised me that I would be classified as one, or at least to the people I was talking to, they're a bit younger than me, I would be classified to one to them. Even though my age isn't advanced, I just am a little older than them. I'm not hip with the times, you know? God, that was cramped. Who cares? With these frost damages, he's not going to be able to do much damage to me, but this poison stack is going to get to me over time. So let's see what happens. I will cut out to the point where I'm going to die or it's going to die, and I'll see you soon. So, we're back. I think I'm going to be dying in these next few turns. As you can see, those poison stacks have gone up pretty high, and his health has not gone very low. So I was right when that feeling of me feeling weak, and I may just have a bad run, or this may be common until I unlock more items. That it's not going too well for me. But I have enjoyed this game. I will probably come back to it at some point. It just may not be on that permanent rotation like the other roguelikes I've been playing is. But I do like the direction of games that I have been playing and seeing recently. I'll keep my eye out for any of those cheap roguelikes also to pop up, and I'll play any recommendations that people have for me. I like to rant. I like to play games. This guy is kicking my ass. This is my last turn, so let's see what happens after that. And that's that. I like this little almost claymation style animation that we get at the end. And this is the game over screen. It gives you your stats, which is really interesting. You can see how you're improving if you're not getting much further. But off of that, that was Dungeon Clawler. If you enjoy games like this, you enjoy me, feel free to come back at any time. I'll be here. I hope you've enjoyed, and catch y'all next time. See ya.